Yo, what up, what up, what up? Wrath here, Trading Tuesday. Hello and welcome to today's trading day. We have some login issues, we just figured. Today is gonna be a little bit exciting for us. CIG had to fix the Iranclit, and they did somewhat and somehow. We want to have a look into why they did what they did, especially, and then we want to find out what they actually fixed. So we did already test runs yesterday or the past couple of days, and we can assure you there are changes to the ship to the better. Okay, so we need to find out where are we. We do not see marker from our friend. Let's see that we don't have stream snipers or whatnot. Properly exit to menu, yeah. So we did preparation specific for the stream, of course, because we want to do showing you how we do the millions. And we wouldn't necessarily say that we have a lot of money, but we have some money and we do progress. We can say we got distracted from the Iranclit's misery and what the CIG delivered to the players, the backers, however you want to call it, the consumers, and especially the customers. And yeah, during the loading screen, the non-existing loading screen, we can talk about what we noticed from far away on our seat in front of the computer, that something changed within the community. Those people who see themselves as a customer, not a gamer, not a player, not a backer, they started to speak out. And CIG fucked with the wrong people. Even the big shillers, the big YouTubers, the babies who are so excited about everything what CIG is doing and what they deliver in form of ships, of course, even those people, CIG managed to break them. Yeah, the release of 4.A the release of 4.A is something like the release of 3.13. Now, we haven't been there at 3.13. We started out with 3.23. And the long-term backers say even 4.A is worse. Yeah, they say 3.8 is worse than worse than 3.13, 3.18, and which is basically it speaks for the standards of CIG, what they comprehend when it comes to quality of service, when we speak Star Citizen as an alpha online live service, and or quality of life when it comes to gameplay and functionality as a player's character.
Welcome to the ASUS Please Visit Us Again. Goodbye. Welcome to the ASUS Laboratory.
Okay, we are challenged here. Challenged here to do both. Yeah. Talk to our friend.
Got some great new products. Come on and check them out. Howdy. Good to have you. If you need it, I've got it.
Okay, performance starts lagging. Of course, ship is not here. So what we did today, we were a little bit preparing, and we had issues with Golden Riviera. Golden Riviera is a headhunter's location, and usually we do not go to headhunter's location because prior to the full wipe of 4.8 we had been hostile to the headhunters. And now we do a lot of effort to make sure that we do not have any issues with Citizen for Prosperity and headhunters, because we do not want to have limitations in our trading operations. Now we have ironclads. Yeah, we have 3 ironclads in our fleet of the Orc, and yesterday we did a recruitment program, and someone also had an ironclad. That would be the 4th. If we can get him into our Orc doing trading, then we would have 4 ironclads available for massive for massive large. What the fuck? Ironclad, I said the ironclad. Why is the fucking ironclad 17 gigamiles away?
Welcome to the ASUS Vehicle Retrieval System. Your vehicle has been moved to authority only.
God fucking damn it. Can you tell me how can we get a large hangar when we retrieve the ironclad? We get the large hangar. We go into the hangar and there is no ironclad. Okay, that is nothing special so far. So then we want to retrieve the ironclad, and for whatever reason we chose the arrow. But then we saw the marker that the ironclad is 70 gigamiles away. That is something that we absolutely do not like about Star Citizen, the fact that it is not reliable. Once they released the ironclad, there had been some issues to the ironclad, and the issues were consistent, therefore reliable. We are not fan of it, of course not, but it was reliable. God damn it, why? Okay, we Alt F4, that's why. And now we have this issue. We didn't even know what is 70 gigamiles away. There might be one space station where we're usually not. Did we land somewhere and abandon the ship? No, we can't remember. We prepared for today. We made sure that the ironclad is here at Obituary. We set our respawn point to Obituary so that we can start from Obituary to Golden Riviera, to Ashland, Gaslight, and then to Stanton. Yeah, it wouldn't be an issue if we haven't been loot gobbling, because when we want to have a reliable ship on an online service that is also reliable, then we want to make sure that everything what it is in the ship remains in the ship until we destroy it because we crashed or got in a fight or whatever. But this isn't it. This isn't what we would consider reliable. And even the non-existing loading screen takes ages.
Welcome to the ASUS vehicle retrieval system. Vehicle being visited again.
God fucking damn it! Ah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so far you cannot plan anything when you want to play Star Citizen, because either you need to be happy that you even can launch Star Citizen, and once you made it in, I mean, the Iranclit was here for 4 days, 3 days or something, and now at the day we need it, it's gone. It's not the first time. It's not the first time that ships are not there where they used to be and should be. No idea if anybody else also notices, but this is the quality of service CRG has to offer. Ships appear, but not there where they should. Just random somewhere. And they maybe do it because we don't have money for refuel. And it might be that even the fuel tank is kinda empty, and so we cannot make it back to Golden Riviera. No, ship is moving. Ship is not out here. Oh, what a waste of time. Be right back. Is it still moving? Where are we going? Look. Oh no. Yeah, still moving.
Self-destruct protocol accepted.
And then people claim, X amount people claim a ship that is not destroyed. Yeah, the Iranclit is not destroyed. But it's also not in the hangar, as it should be. He didn't move a bit. That is also something what we do not like. Maybe we take it way too seriously, Star Citizen, or the gameplay we have here. But if somebody is, I don't know, how long? 22 minutes. He didn't move 22 minutes. Is he moving now? Yeah, now he is. Maybe he waited because we said that we need to find the ship first. Okay. Oh, that is not a good start. Wusa. Yeah, they implemented something new. Salty Mike was talking about it, and we kind of realized that they actually changed something. Do we still have the large hangar? So that is a big downside here in Pyro. If you want to claim a new ship or ground vehicle for loading into the ship, you need to have a hangar. But you need to have the right hangar, not just any hangar. Yeah, and so we also need to claim the Ursa, that doesn't cost that much. You also need to claim the Atlas, doesn't cost that much. But if you add up all the stuff that doesn't cost that much, that is how CRG is stealing the money. And the money we make in-game comes from the same currency like IRL. Attention. Yeah, the time, the effort we take in order to gain that money. And they just steal it. I'm not quite sure if that is a theft or something. But for us it is. In a legal sense, we do not know. But for us it is.
Your vehicle has been moved to our storage facility. Please visit us again. Welcome to the ASUS vehicle retrieval system.
Got some great new products. Come on and check them out.
Please visit us again. Goodbye. Welcome
If you
to
need
the
it,
ASUS
I've got
vehicle
it.
retrieval system.
Did we lose the money?
Please visit us again. Goodbye.
No.
Welcome to the ASUS vehicle retrieval system.
Just got a
Your
new
vehicle
shipment of
has
stuff.
been moved to
Have a
our
look.
storage facility.
Weird.
Vehicle please.
It is just weird. Absolutely unreliable. Yeah, having that noticed, we do not recommend to spend any more money into this project. And if you absolutely need, because you want to find out what is Star Citizen and want to play, the max amount of money that is absolutely justifiable is 110 or 135, whatever. for the Cutlass Black. That is the only one ship that is actually worth the money. And every other ship you can earn in-game. I mean, that is basically the idea of a video game, to gain money in order to be able to buy ships in-game. Yeah, and due to the inflation that we had before the complete wipe, everybody was able to buy any ship they wanted because money was everywhere around. And you could say it was the player base basically who damaged the sort of gameplay, and so it was basically our problem that we created ourselves, and CIG actually could say it's their problem. Yeah, they don't have the gameplay, we do not care. If they want to, they can do. And it's not about the exploit per se right now, it's just the behavior itself from all the players who actually... I mean, we had the same issue as well. There were random players just giving us 2-digit millions just for nothing, just to be online. And that actually kills the game in general. But whatever, what CIG did with the full wipe, it didn't fix the game that these dupers, these exploiters destroyed. It didn't fix the game per se with the wipe. So what we can say is, what is the main motivation behind the wipe at the bottom line? Is it that CIG does not want that everybody is able to buy ships in game, or do they want to have people pledging for the ships they cannot buy in game anymore? And we noticed that ourselves, how that works. Yeah, if you play too long Star Citizen, you start to make a gameplay, and once you make a gameplay, it is obvious that the ships makes it possible to have that certain type of gameplay you do. In our case, it is commodity trading, moving boxes from A to B to C. And yes, of course, for that we need to have specific ships, and from those specific ships there are various types of ships, and all those ships gives us different opportunities and options. But other ships in the same class, as we would say, a cargo ship, there are differences. And when you get used to a specific ship to do something, then you kinda want to have that gameplay. And when they take it away, that particular ship, or maybe a couple of ships, and don't tell me you need to have 10 ships, no, that's not the case. No, we talk about maximum 3 ships. Then you may be willing to spend IRL money to pledge for that particular ship in order to continue your gameplay you established since 4.0, 1.5 years. And if you get sucked into Star Citizen, into the world like we did, then it is like, yeah, if you spend, let's say, 20 hours per week into this game, yeah, the attention you put, the energy, the focus you put into the game or into particular gameplay that Star Citizen has to offer, then you want to have the ship just to continue your gameplay because you got used to. And when you need to start grinding from zero, basically, in our case it would be the 30 mil to get the M2. Yeah, that was the ship that we used to. If we would need to grind again 30 mil to get that ship, then we need to grind 60 mil. Because if we just grind 30 mils to get the ship, then we have the ship, but we do not have the money to continue commodity trading. So it wouldn't be smart to buy the ship with 30 mil. We need to have more. And that is the actual problem here, right? When CIG decides to make a wipe for whatever excuse they will bring up, and for whatever shillers actually want to have a wipe, they destroy gameplay, joy, fun, and the meaning of playing Star Citizen. And that is a risky business, that is a risky game CIG is playing, to bet on that people will pledge for ships. And yeah, they reached the 1 billion mark, but that is primarily due to the concept sailing of the Odin for 5,000 for Warbond and 6,000 for store credits. So, and there was the other event, this Drake Defense Con event, and they made a lot of money with all these new ships. Not the Iranclit, the Iranclit was a concept ship. All the other ships that haven't been concepted, for that matter, but they had been announced. And due to this free fly window and the rental services, you can have a tryout before you actually pledge. And this is smart, yeah, marketing technically speaking, it is smart to give the player bases the opportunity to test before they spend money on. And if you are in, let's say, space combat with the big ships like the Hammerhead or the Perseus even, then you would be most likely be willing to spend I don't know how much money is also 800 for another ship. Why do we have not the black one? Why is the black one involving? And that is the additional money streamed in with these kind of ship like the shark ship.
Your vehicle has been moved to authority zone. Your vehicle
And no. I got stuck in there. And just commercially speaking or economically speaking, the evidence that CIG is doing well, as Space Tomato was saying, is the numbers. The numbers validates basically the success of Star Citizen, even though it isn't. But as long as the players, the backers, the shillers, the YouTubers, the consumers and the customers throw money at CIG, CIG will continue what they're doing. And what they definitely do not do is develop a video game. People believe Star Citizen is a video game, but by definition it's not. And what CIG is delivering here is definitely also not a video game. They don't even fix their shit, no. But what they do is they develop spaceships. Yeah, that is proven, that is evidently. And they acquired a lot of ships last year, and they continue. I mean, I don't know how many ships they released on Drake Defense Con. New ships, yeah, concepted or not, it doesn't matter. It's an awful lot. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome that they kinda be able to do that and handle the ship. But when you have a concept ship like the Iranclit, but the Iranclit is probably 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, they announced the concept of the Iranclit. We saw that. But back then we didn't have the gameplay to have use of this ship. And it was 535 the Iranclit Assault and 450 the Iranclit base version back then. And then later, of course, on all these free fly events, they announce these concept ships, of course. And then we saw it, okay, and we thought, should we pledge for it? And we still don't have an actual gameplay for that back then. And then commodity trading started big time, more about summer last year. And then we had the gameplay for an Iranclit. And so we waited for December IAE, where we pledged an Iranclit. But back then it was still concept. And when you have, as a software house, a software developer, 2 years from the concept sale to release date, and you cannot handle to deliver a ship that actually works after 2 years, that is telling something. Yeah, and then they release other ships. I mean, we had looked into the M80 a little bit. We didn't really tested it, just had a look into. We also had a look into the all the new ships, also the shark ship. We also did the shark ship things, but we haven't noticed much what was wrong with the ship, and we just used it as a shuttle primarily, all those ships, and sometimes we used it for scrapping for the salvage, and that was it. And yeah, for that matter, it worked. Everything what we wanted to, it worked. So far so good. But we heard that a lot of people issued that audio problems, for example, or guns not working, whatever. And even with those ships, not concept, just straight to release, even there they have issues. Yeah, and the main issue is basically the player base, the backers, the pledgers, the consumers and the customers. If you pledge, if you buy a digital asset online and get text on it, and the digital asset does not what it's supposed to do, you have a 30 days money back guarantee. And we urge to all those to actually request money refund for the Iranclit. But, and here is the trick here, the main reason why CIG is actually fixing the Iranclit is exactly that, because they noticed that the customers start to realize what the game they play. And when a lot of people like we do talking about money refund, and probably some people try to request, then they have a massive problem. And that is something that we have to notice. We customers, we have to notice that there is the power that we have in our hands. If we stop spending money into this project, that is one thing. The other thing that hurts way more is to claim money refund because they delivered an unfinished product, and with the Iranclit even a higher priced undelivered, even a higher priced unfinished product. So the crime, if you will, is even higher with the Iranclit. And yeah, there is the power. I mean, when we have 30 days time for money back guarantee, that would mean, at least we assume, that would also mean that CIG has a limited time window, 30 days, to fix their shit, so that the money refund claim wouldn't be suitable anymore, not be applicable. And that is the main reason why they fixed the Iranclit. That is the only one reason why they fixed the Iranclit. And yes, therefore we hope a lot of people actually claimed money refund, just to give clear signals. Unfortunately, we pledged on IAE December last year, and that is out of these 30 days. is parked far away from the elevator. So let's see, our friend is a little bit chaotic, not just a little bit, he's massive chaotic. But he's eager to do, yeah, he's a doer. And he also provides us with interesting information. Something is performance is breaking down. Super laggy again. Ah, can we get into the elevator? Yeah, you see the lagginess? It kind of hurts the eyes. Tell me what you do. Yeah, that is something what we had to talk about in this stream. We know it. We knew it. We figured out yesterday. So what happened with this wannabe patch, with this wannabe hotfix, with this wannabe maintenance mode they brought back the original the original elevator box that they implemented back in the days in the version 3.20.4 once they released the outside elevators. They are in full effect. Yeah, CIG is tearing down this project. Yeah, that is his ego problem. He wants to what is in German, the German word is der Drang nach Geltung. He wants to have recognition for whatever, but he's talking shit. He doesn't know that he's talking shit. He doesn't know what is the actual issue. The issue is not that we cannot raise the elevator. The issue is that we cannot load stuff onto the elevator. And when we ask, how do you know? How do you know? I know how many things work. No, the fuck, you do not know. That's why we ask, do you have boxes? And he says, no, I don't have boxes, sold everything. Yeah, how do you know? Bring a fucking box onto the elevator and raise it, and then you know it works or it doesn't. Jesus damn. Is it just us? Are we that complicated? Or have we something realized with our real eyes that other people don't? And we are just not able to communicate properly. I mean, it kind of worked with the Iranclit, seeing ourselves as customer, behave like customer, request the delivery of product we paid for, And if they do not want to, then we want to have our money back. That is a clear communication. And it looks like as if that kind of worked. At least they tried to fix it. But the reason why we didn't come here is because of these boxes. These boxes indicates. Doesn't work. We do not know if they wanted to. Performance is absolutely terrible. One box. The whole thing is just a waste of time. It's now an hour. A fucking hour, and we haven't done nothing. Absolutely nothing. The only one thing that we accomplished so far is flying from Arbitrary to Golden Riviera. One further motherfucking hour. Yeah, people ask, why do you do that? Why do you? Yeah, of course, yeah, it's oh, yes. Yeah, he says he doesn't know what we mean. When we ask, how do you know the elevator works, he doesn't know what we mean. And this hiccup is also something really, really annoying. Yeah, when it comes down to the question, why do you play Star Citizen? We really start to ask ourselves, why do we do that? Why? What is it? We start not seeing it anymore. This is the beginning of the end. And on the other hand, it's also performance is absolutely miserable. That was actually the main reason why we even left, but it's probably the location. Every time when we come here, this location is fucked up. Interestingly, it's not all, yeah, 15 frames, so this is gonna be pain. Come on. Hop, hop. Hop. Hop, hop. Yeah, even with the ad as it is kinda fast, but even with the see, with the lagginess, quality of life not existent, not existing in Star Citizen. No. It is kind of interesting. Some of our crew members, they tend to do stuff like he's doing right now, while we have the money on the line. And we actually wanted to have them for either hands, moving tractors, moving the boxes. How fucking crazy stupid this performance is. See that? Damn fucking damn it. Oh no. I think it is time to stop playing Star Citizen. It is just not worth anymore. But go back to the crew members here. It's supposed to be an MMO, and we want to have friends with us doing the stuff we do, yeah. And of course there are lots of other gameplays you can do. And you can try to get us into something else, that is totally fine. But if you want to explore, if you want to find out, do that when you play on your own and not when you are supposed to be helping hand or have an eye on the sky to give protection. Okay, at least he checked the area. And he said, looks like as if you are alone, and it actually looks like we are alone. So far so good, but he's no help. Not that much, okay? We can say, okay, he did the observation. But nothing. Maybe we are just too strict with others, because we tend to be strict to ourselves. Don't expect from others what you expect from you. It's not the golden rule, where you do not do something to others what you do not like yourself, right? It's not the same thing. says 25 frames with 40 milliseconds. Yeah, that's 40 milliseconds is not good. Yeah, this is the hub that we imagined. Storm is coming. What is this? Oh. Inventory lag. Let's see if we can dupe here. No, we cannot. All right. Oh, Jesus. Just thought that we fell through. We'll be right back. Yeah, that right there, that was a server boundary. That's why our friend got connected. That's why we left somewhat quantum nav mode. We already feel that our ship is loaded. Yeah, he's not able to focus. Six frames, not super bad. Not sure if the amount of boxes that are around makes the issue. We had the problem back in the days with the M2 as well, but we really could nail it down to off-gridded boxes that reduced the performance. But as soon as they had been on the grid, everything was kind of fine. So it's kind of weird here that all the boxes are on the grid and we have issues. Or maybe it's just Star Citizen, CIG and Amazon with their lazy performance. So don't... It is how it is. What's that? Sunrise. Sunset. Sunrise. Yeah, when we are talking about the Iranclad's progress, then we can say we walked around the whole time with the helmet on. And yes, we haven't been in space properly, just traversing from A to B. Maybe to do a proper test we would need to go on the moon, we do not know. But we can wear the helmet now in the whole ship. There was once so far an issue with the quantum, and that was when we did the when we changed the server. Yeah, server hopping basically, but the real server hopping in the sense of server meshing. No detaching, no anything weird. What we can say is the radar is not working still. Nobody talked about the radar, but the radar is also not working. So we do not know where is the legal border of what it means that the product is, let's say, feature complete. And we also can say that when we utilize the ship, we probably don't utilize the full potential. For example, it's the guns. Yeah, we do not use the guns. Tractor beam, if there would be any tractor beam, we do not use this kind of stuff. And because we do not use it, we cannot say if it actually works or not, right? So we have no idea if it's feature complete or not. But the obvious stuff, like if you want to go from when it comes to the usability, does it the purpose? Then we can say yes, it flies from A to B to C without any issues. Check. But when we switch the star system, then we have to manually detach and couple docking again in order to get quantum marking in the new system. The other way around would be you also could do bad logging, of course. Because Star Citizen MMO, it doesn't allow us to bad log when we do group gameplay. It would work, I mean, but doesn't mean that it doesn't allow. We can do, but we need to kick off our friend out of the ship in order to be able to bad log. Or we need to go to a space station so that he can hop off, but when we are at the space station, we do not need to. We do not need to bad log, right? And the effort to go to a space station just in order to be able to switch server is just immense for that the ship still not works perfectly. And we can say it is not the Iranclad as the Iranclad, it is the command module from both the Iranclads and the Caterpillar. And so we can say, okay, for the Caterpillar that is new, that you have a detachable command module, and therefore the Caterpillar also have the same issue like the Iranclad. But usually the player don't have pledged for the Iranclad, or even if they have, they had it for a long time, and before they implemented the command module, the Caterpillar worked. It did what it's supposed to do. So that was also server hopping again once we got the message of friends connecting. ages. That took ages. Yeah, it is a big difference when the ship is loaded. It behaves completely different. And maybe we need even to wait until we get a new hangar. Because we do not want to stuck into the hangar roof. Yeah, so it looks like as if we could have loaded more of this attrition, or what it is. that the announcement that he doesn't want to do cargo anymore? He just does it for the money? We can now quantum trump in slow citizen mode. It is big and heavy, especially when loaded. You feel it, you really feel it. Where are you going? Just that edge. Yeah, the reason why we go to Devlin Scrap first is primarily because we have Obsidian Heights loaded so that we can get rid of that. And then we want to go to the one on Arcop, Samson I think is the name. And the reason why we prefer, 16 gigamiles. The reason why we prefer is both are on the moon and moon atmosphere is lower so that we can speed in faster than go on planetary side like on Herson, for example. And of course there is another one that on Daymar, but Daymar is for us just way too risky because it's too close to Yala and a lot of people go to Briars Breakers, and that's why we do not like to go to Daymar. Yeah, that shouldn't be. Weird stuff is going on. Yeah, so what we can say is quantum traveling with the Iranclit is still not reliable, good enough. Not good for customer. Yeah, that detaching, attaching makes it possible to get the proper third person view. It's unfortunate that we need to detach in order to be able to see the ship properly. Alright, first location to sell stuff. Hopefully we loaded the right stuff and not stuff we cannot sell here. Okay, so what do we see? We choose the ship. We have 10 SU of gasping Weevil X. Out of stock 77. Awesome. Then what else? Toxin. We got 300. So we still have 900 something SUs of this one. Over there, it is out of stock. Yeah, this is not much. We do not know how much we paid for this one, but it just gives almost 7k revenue, not profit. Did we maxed out? No. Sell all. Eaten 284. So we got more than we expected, to be honest. And all 7 mil. Yeah, so we have too much of eaten. 258 is maximum. So that would mean we need to go to the other location over at the R-Corp area. 3.5 mil this one box. Osoyan Heights. The most expensive, the most rare commodity you can buy and sell for lots of profit for what it is. Then we got some neon. Neon also out of stock. 24. No idea how much we paid for that, but doesn't really matter. Sell it. Not that much. And what do we have? 8 SUs of Eaton. We cannot. It's kind of weird. Why do they say on demand? Okay, let's do a check. Now we are on 14 mil. we sell those even though we cannot. 60,000, that would be 950. We sell it, or at least we try. Damn, fuck, it worked. No, it said it's failed. But we got the money. Interesting. I'll go back in. 20 ASUS. Yeah, this is how it should look like. $200K, 100, 600. Should we go up to 600? Let's have a try. Doesn't work, doesn't go. It should be like that. That's why it's contracted, because we said sell it. So it is basically announced to this location and we only can sell it here. Jesus. What's going on? Yeah, Ashland. We had been to Ashland. That's why we haven't checked really what we actually loaded. We just took everything we had. That was the problem. Neon is out of stock. 15 frames per second. A rough landing. Oh, Jesus. Not a good idea. Yeah, this would be a salvage stream here. Look at the money we made. No. Huh? Oh, okay. So we gave him 3 mil. Yeah, easy peasy, Seraphim is best. So the idea here is we want to that all of our crew member has 100 mil available for trading, and now we should have both more or less around 15 mil. That is a total cap of 30 mil that we can invest, and if we do it properly, means especially logistically, he can buy stuff, we buy stuff, and eventually we fly once or twice with either both ships or only the Iranclit or even the second Iranclit, however. So the idea is that we buy a lot of boxes, basically invest all the 15 mil each, and then we go sell all in once. So that the issue here would be if we have too much of the same stuff. Let's say he buys 400 SUs of neon, or ETYM, better said, ETYM, and we buy 400 of ETYM, then we run into a problem when it comes to the selling location. Means that we basically compete each other when it comes to the selling location. If it's out of stock and he comes with 400, he will fill up the complete stock. And then we cannot sell because it's already full. That is one thing. So we would need to be strategically. When he goes for, let's say, this audio-visual stuff, he can do that. When we do, let's say, a Miyoshi plaque, we can do that. And then we have the other issue that the selling destinations are not the same. That means that we need to split up in two ships anyways. you see we are in slow citizen mode, and we can quantum travel. Okay. Oh, a mercy plaque doesn't look good. Is that the price? 26 SUs multiplied. Yeah, that is 1.8 would mean 14.62 plus 1.8 16.42 mil. We're gonna sell successfully. 16.4. So that would mean looks great. We can bring even more. 258. Yeah, maybe that is the problem, that we do not communicate exactly. So the reason why we asked is we want to bring our ship back to Pyro. So if we need to pick up, and we know most of them. Why does he have a hand? Yeah, we would say that would it be for today's commodity trading. Last time we checked our account, we had been on 12 mil. That is 4.5 mil profit. And when we send him 1.4 mil, then he will have 15 and I will have 15. So we both are financially similar. Oh, this stupid fucking bullshit. Come on. Alright, yeah, thanks for watching. This is Commodity Trading Tuesday. We would say we have been successful. It started out not good. We had basically doubts that we would be any sort of successful, but it worked out at the end. And yeah, why not? Next Tuesday we do the same. We will prepare something for you. Thanks for watching.